Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, February 19th. My goodness, this month is just flying by. Here we are already in the second half of the month. And look at our futures here. We're pushing green where our candle bodies have really stayed, although we've wicked through, we've really stayed very close to that 8. We're starting to get a little bit tighter of price action. We've been at highs. But we've also seen a little bit of weakening under the market as to what's keeping us there. So we just want to keep a good eye on that. Make sure that that if we're getting into things, we understand that we are at these highs. You know, I've seen a lot of people call out, well, we're at the market top. Oh, it's so easy to say that, and then eventually you're going to be right. But I think that constantly trying to call out and guess where the market top is a little bit. It's just not helpful. It's not productive because you're going to play the price action. So it doesn't matter where the market top is or isn't. And I will also tell you that you don't know you're at the top until you're no longer there. So just, keep in mind that a lot of times when you're constantly calling out that, oh, we're at the top, oh, we're at the top, you're really creating just an overall heightened anxiety that isn't necessary for day-to-day trading. The other thing is, I'm not foolish. I'm not sticking my head in the sand. I'm not playing an old ostrich here. I do understand that we are at highs, that underpinnings of the market might be a little bit weaker. Overall, we still have a very strong market, but all things do come to an end eventually. And although I don't exactly know when that is, I can take an educated guess that as we get closer to a stimulus package, that might give us another leg up. And then it's after that really where I will start looking to see, how much risk do I want to carry a little bit longer term, and then wait for a correction or a really decent sized pullback to get some better prices on some longer term stocks. All right, that's how I'm playing it. You can play it however you want, but I will say if you are one of these that's always anxious about what's about to happen, or you're the one that's always looking backwards, you're probably going to miss what's right in front of you. And that is as a trader, the psychology of that, trying to predict or constantly living in the past, both of those are it's very, very difficult. So don't do it. There you go. I know, so much easier said than done. Believe me, I do understand that too. Okay, so Dow is up 85-ish points here this morning. S&P futures up a little bit. Oil is down. Gold's down. So kind of, messy. We're continuing to be messy here. So what am I watching for today? A few that I'm in Goldman Sachs, and this is staying in a really nice spot. Some other people called out JPM in the room, and this one is really nice. A lot of these financials continuing to hold in very nicely. Wells Fargo had a huge boost the other day, holding into the top of the candle. So financials, although we might have a little bit of red here and there today, the financials are continuing to do very well. I didn't do a video on my PLTR call last night, to be honest. I just totally forgot. Got into PLTR. Their lockup period is over, which means a lot of shares came available to trade. Lockup is when you get in on the IPO, you're required to hold those shares for a certain period of time before being able to share. Yesterday, those became available. This morning, we're up a little bit. We're here at 26.45. I got into the May 21st 30 calls. I got in those at 375, and I went ahead and put in a sell at 420. Now, when we closed yesterday, we were just shy of 6% up. So that 420 where we are now should be a pretty decent sell. It should be able to go out. If we open up where it is, we would likely take that sell out in the morning. And that's exactly what I plan to do, kind of bag some of these 10% wins and continue to move forward. The other thing I did get into yesterday was ETHE. I got into the equity on this. I like the equity, the overall cryptocurrency, blockchain, all of these doing very well here. The sector is very hot. It's been in the news. People have been talking about it. People are buying into it. It's getting more credibility and legitimacy across different platforms. So continuing to watch that here. A couple to play those on the daily chart. that you could potentially take a reversal off of here. Riot and Mara, both those are going to be in here. Riot is coming right back up through its candle yesterday, so great day traders. And Riot, here's Marathon Patent Group. That's another good one. And then a couple others that we talked about yesterday. EXPE, looking very good here. If you did get into this, I'd watch continuation. Potentially, I think it's sitting just a little bit red here this morning. Yep, just red just inside the top part of the candle, but I like red. We talked about Trip. It had its earnings recently. Yeah, it had its earnings yesterday, and this one too. Although pulling back into this candle may give a nice another buy here up through the 38 mark is where I would look for it. And Mu is another one that we watched yesterday. Nice, called this one out pretty early in the room. Bounced the 8, pushed up very nicely all day, so keep an eye on all of those. All right, Twitter. Twitter started a reversal yesterday, gave us a nice little inside candle. I like Twitter for the 416.75s. And it is sitting this morning here at 72.82. So I want to make sure it goes through the top of yesterday's candle or play this off of an opening range break. On Mu, I would look at the 95 calls, by the way, on an ORB. It's continuing on nicely, probably more of a day trade, but Mu, I would look at those 95 calls on an ORB. WDC came up on my scan yesterday, another one really at highs here, so anything over 68.70. Again, keep these a little closer to the vest as we are constantly pushing these highs in the market itself, not just giving us the straight, run ahead as of yet. DraftKings, we talked about this one for a reversal play yesterday. Came up closed above the 20. I like DraftKings up through the high of yesterday for a confirmation of that reversal. Along with that, you can take a look at Penn. Look how nice and tight this action is. It's a very nice wedge here. I think this is a nice playable wedge. We're going to put that in like that. So anything over that upper trend line, again, push these out a little bit. I didn't see a lot of great calls in there that I liked on that one quite yet. And then JD, another one we called out late in the room. They had a lot of flow later in the day yesterday. JD it does have earnings coming up, so maybe a little bit of a catalyst, but anything over the close from yesterday. But a very nice move from red, very close to trying to get to green there yesterday. So nice open window there in JD. Okay, that is it for me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room.